Hello and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you enjoyed what you're seeing and if you want to see more. Coming up, HKR CEO makes a shock claim for IMG licensing. Warrington Wolves bring 2 players in for much needed cover and creativity. And Wazza speaks about post-World Cup Origin eligibility. So we're going to turn our attentions first to the state of origin after the Rugby League World Cup has been a success, and eligibility rules to allow International Rugby League to thrive are back on the table. And one super coach has called for an overhaul of state of origin eligibility rules to allow International Rugby League to thrive following the successful 2021 campaign. It's amid talks that Samoa and Tonga are possibly being elevated to Tier 1 status in the future, which would see the likes of Brian To'o and Junior Paulo forced to make a decision between representing New South Wales or Samoa. Under the current rules, a player cannot play for New South Wales or Queensland if they are eligible and played for a Tier 1 nation other than Australia. But the Dolphins head coach and Brisbane Souths, so on and so forth, Wayne Bennett told News Corp that it shouldn't be that complicated and wants the rules tweaked to allow both players to do both. The veteran coach believes that there's a market for international footy, which is backed up by the fact that 600,000 people tuned into either Fox League or KO to watch Australia defeat Samoa in the World Cup final, despite the kickoff being at 3 AM Australian Eastern District Time, plus being behind a paywall. Let's stop all the bull S word. It's not that complicated, Bennett said. Everyone needs to think about what is in the game's best interest here. We have to acknowledge where international football is heading. We had more than 600,000 people who got up in the middle of the night to watch the game. That shows there's a market for it, and we are in the entertainment business. There is plenty of interest around the world too, with News Corp reporting the semi-final clash between England and Samoa drew in 2.38 million viewers on the BBC in the UK, with 21.1% of the overall market share of that day's TV. With that, Bennett stressed we have to acknowledge where international football is heading, and to do that, the rules need to be tweaked. He used to believe that Origin players should only be allowed to represent Australia, but has changed his tune according to this report in the Fox News report. And as per Origin rules, a player must be born in New South Wales or Queensland, or have moved there prior to turning 13 to represent their state. Bennett believes those rules can remain, but wants the rule barring Victor Radley from playing for New South Wales because he represented England at the World Cup to be scrapped. What I'm saying is the criteria to play for Queensland or New South Wales must not change, he said. But what should change is that players should be available for selection for the whole lot of the countries outside Australia. Victor Radley should be allowed to play for New South Wales and also play for England, but he will never play for Australia. He's made that choice, but he still ticks all the boxes to play Origin because he grew up playing his footy in New South Wales. What a lot of people seem to be struggling to understand is that these players like Junior Paulo, Jerome Luai and Brian To'o, they all grown up in Sydney. So under the criteria, as it is now, they qualify for Origin. Then you have a bloke like Tom Burgess who doesn't tick the boxes because Tom grew up in England, so he shouldn't be playing Origin. So the criteria stays the same in that respect. there is a good discussion there to be had when it comes to Origin players and their eligibility and Tier 1, Tier 2 statuses, things like that. Being an outsider outside of Australia, New South Wales, Queensland, it smells to me that this is all for Australian Rugby League, all for State of Origin, to keep that to the perceived pinnacle of Rugby League, which is still parochial, that's the word I was looking for, in its values. That's not good for International Rugby League. If you select a nation and you're born for that nation, then not a problem. But if you want an all-star team to play against each other, call them all-stars and select players from around the world. Don't exclude anyone, but they will. Because it's all about State of Origin, to make that the pinnacle of Rugby League. There's many different thoughts, but that's my thought on this. It shouldn't be the pinnacle of Rugby League. It should be part of the Australian season and the trial game, as it was intended to be. Yes, things grow and evolve over time, but the one thing that guarantees growth around the world, with sponsors around the world, with teams from around the world, is International Rugby League. And new players from around the world. There's athletes out there that are not being picked up because not in Rugby League areas. What can you do? That's my thought on it. I may be completely wrong, but at this point, it just seems so insular and all about Origin rather than growing Rugby League. So, Warrington Wolves, behind me, you see the shirt, right? Yeah, I'll try and get it eventually. There. Have signed a couple of players with Rugby League experience, and one of those is a former winger who joins the club in the last few hours. It does actually make sense that they re-signed him, to be fair, as their outside backs are all relatively young. First came Josh Drinkwater, who joins Warrington Wolves on a 2-year deal from Catalan's Dragons, after the Warrington Wolves had announced that the scrum half will wear the numbered 7 shirt for the Wire this season. 31-year-old brings a wealth of experience and creativity to the spine, with nearly 200 NRL games and Super League appearances. Drinkwater had led Catalans to Challenge Cup victory at Wembley against the Wire in 2018, as well as lifting the League Leaders Shield in 2021 with the Dragons. He was top of the try-scoring assist charts in Super League that season too, where they fell just short of a maiden grand final victory after being defeated by St Helens at Old Trafford. He is the third signing that came from Catalan's Dragons for 2023, following Sam Cassiano and Gil Dudson's arrival from the south of France. His former club released a statement announcing that he left on by mutual consent, and also said this: "Everyone at the club would like to thank him for his commitment and contribution during his time at the club, and wish him all the best for the future." Drinkwater himself says he's very excited about the move. He's played against Warrington many times, and it's always been a club that I've admired from afar. When the opportunity came up, it was a very easy decision to make. I've enjoyed my time in France, but I'm really looking forward to getting over now and embracing the England culture. It means once again. Anyway, he continued by saying, "I'm excited to be part of the spine in this team. George Williams is a world-class player, and also players like Darryl Clark and Matt Duffy as well. They're all great players, and I'm really looking forward to developing combinations with them. It'll take a little bit of time to gel, and people will need to understand that. But when it does, hopefully we can have some success." Head coach Darryl Powell said he's delighted that Josh has agreed to join us as we move forward into next season. He's a quality halfback who can organise the team superbly. His combinations with George Williams is a well-balanced one that I'm confident will contribute massively to what we aim to achieve in 2023. A player who returns to Warrington Wolves is Matty Russell after he rejoined the club for 2023. The winger has signed an initial 12-month contract with an option for a further year, and the Scotland international represented the Wire between 2014 and 2018, scoring 31 tries in his 97 appearances. He was part of the side that lifted the League Leaders Shield in 2016, as well as scoring a try in the Challenge Cup final in that season. The 29-year-old has played for Toronto, Lee and Toulouse since, and will now once again don the Primrose and Blue jersey in 2023. Russell joined up with his new teammates today, that being Thursday, as preparations are in full swing ahead of the new campaign. The winger will wear the number 34 shirt according to their website. And on moving back to the club, Russell said it is another chance at a great club that means everything to him. It only feels like yesterday I was here. It's great to be back and I'm grateful for the opportunity. Once I heard Warrington were interested and I spoke to Darryl Powell and Cal Fitzpatrick, it was a no-brainer to re-sign. I feel I'm coming back a much better player and I want to bring my value to the team. Physically, I've developed a lot from when I first arrived. Away from the field, also I'm coming back more professional and want to be a role model, which will hopefully reap the rewards on the field also. It'll be great to see the fans again and connect with them. There are some familiar faces, I'm sure. If we can find top form, which is I'm very confident this team is capable of, there's no doubt we can push for the finals this year. Head coach Darryl Powell once again talked about his new signing and said, "We've been looking around since the end of last season to give us more strength and depth in our outside backs, particularly with Connor Wrench being injured for the first part of the season. An opportunity to sign Matty came up and having played against him last season, I believe he will offer us some great strength in depth on our wings. As a powerful dynamic runner, he can really create havoc in defences on kick returns. I have sat down with him and talked to him in detail about what we need from our players over this coming season. He is highly motivated and I believe he will be a quality acquisition for the club." A couple of quality campaigners have joined Warrington Wolves, as Josh Drinkwater has got quality and has won a couple of trophies during his time down in France. He has played for HKR in the past, while Matty Russell starts all the way back with Wigan Warriors and returning to a club that he knows quite well. Will they be the difference with this young, evolving team? Don't know, but for sure, they've got a platform to play off when they need to in the forwards. And finally, it's come out that Hull KR Chief Executive Paul Lakin thinks that there are only 4 Super League clubs that will be given a Grade A licence by IMG when the licences are handed out ahead of the company's reimagining of the sport. Those that will be given a Grade A licence will be safe from relegation, with those plans causing consternation amongst a number of fans. However, Lakin believes that ambition will help HKR to get there in the near future. In the next 12 months, there'll be announcements of 3 levels of licence, A, B and C, Lakin said at a Rovers Supporters Group Fans Forum via the Hull KR website. The intention over the period of a few years is to try and get all the clubs in the professional game to the same standard. I think IMG will be announcing only 4 clubs at Grade A, but I believe it will be a high bar and one that's aspirational. Once Grade A is achieved, it will protect these clubs from relegation. There are a number of tough criteria to earn this status, but it's clear what our ambition is as a club moving forward. It's closely aligned to the NRL model, but it does mean any team that has ambition has a clear defined set of criteria to aim for, and I believe we really are heading in the right direction. Lakin was also pressed into what he thought were two championship clubs he believed could earn promotion to the Super League via this model. I haven't seen the criteria, but you can only assume it considers factors across all areas of the club. I think York and Newcastle have a good chance if you consider their facilities. It will be interesting to see. I think the thinking is right. IMG is here for 12 years. They're not looking to flip it, but rather grow the game and fully review the commercials, particularly the broadcast deals, which have been declining over a number of years. The fact that IMG are on board should hopefully lead to more clubs achieving investment in their own clubs. So we know all the aspirational aspects of what Super Leagues want. They want the best attendances, they want the best grounds, they want the best training facilities, and they want consistent performers at the top of their powers when it comes to playing the sport itself. And after that, development of youngsters, etc, etc, etc. But 4 clubs? I'm not sure it's that close of a panel, but it could potentially be so. Those 4 clubs, if he's having his thinking, are more than likely going to be Warrington. They own their own ground, their own training facility, etc. Community clubs, as we've seen with PDRL, their indoor facilities, so on and so forth. Leeds, same boat. Excellent men's and women's department. They've got a stadium that is regularly used by the RFL and their own training facilities. Hull FC, probably one of the biggest clubs in the country when it comes to fan base. Their movement to University of Hull for their training arenas and things like that would help them grow there. And the 4th one's potentially St Helens. So that means a team like Wigan, who have across the board won so much, so often, through the 90s, noughties, grand final achievers. So most of the players are from Wigan-based Wigan's academy in the England side. Might miss out. St Helens have been champions 4 times on the trot, and they've got a good women's side. They've got their own stadium. They've got this, they've got that. Another one that fits that 4. As much as I say that, Wigan could be one of the teams that miss out. Possibility there will be 6, but hey ho. What do you think? I'm sure that the whole HKR CEO is speaking somewhat reality in this one. And it's good to hear him looking at the challenge and going, we're going to retain that. We're going to be X, Y, and Z. We're going to be A. We're looking to get this, this, and this. And the investment in the stadium, buying it outright, so that it's Hull FC, Hull KR's stadium. The Robins have got a good CEO with aspirations and ambition. Whether they can translate that into the brand spanking new, shiny, gleamy rugby league entity that is worthy of an A rating, it's all dependent on the finances available, the fan base, and their success at developing youngsters. They are starting to do that. So they could get an A license. For me, there's a potential that 6 are going to get in there. But at this moment in time, I'm not sure Hull KR are in nuts. If he's right with 4 though, won't that set a cap amongst the... And that's it for another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe and share this video worldwide, as well as clicking on that notification bell for any new videos that may be coming your way in the near future. Tell me what your thoughts are in the comment section below to this video. It's open for business, but please be respectful to each other. We want to grow this sport and no alienating fans. I've had my opinions. You guys tell me what your thoughts are. Is Wazza wrong? I think he is, because of the eligibility rules should be for everyone or strictly for Australia. That's my position. They want to expand it so that all nations could be in it apart from the Northern Hemisphere who don't play in the NRL. NRL centric. What do you tell me? Warrington Wolves, do they need that outside back position filled cover? I believe yes. And Matty Russell does tick a lot of boxes. Josh Drinkwater, we knew it was coming. It's been rumoured for ages. And HKR, you agree with their CEO that there's only 4 that are eligible to the A license criteria from IMG? Be interesting to think. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to share this video worldwide. And I'll end the episode as I always do by wishing you all the very best. Please stay safe. And I'll see you in the next episode.